What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Singing the Tea. You already know I'm your host, Dustin, singer, actor Lewis. And sometimes I sing, sometimes I give you all the reality TV tea, but it's always going to be what you want, and it's always going to be what you need. And I am coming to you with another Married to Medicine review. So we on season 11, episode 13. And y'all, let me just go here, and apologize. Y'all, these lips are greased up. Y'all see that? Let me apologize. So I had the video ready to upload yesterday. Did the editing, y'all. We have the intro. I tried to add the intro into it and all of that. Had it ready, set to go. Went to upload it to YouTube, and like the video disappeared. It wouldn't let me look for it. Y'all, the video is gone. I have no idea where that video is. So if y'all find it somewhere, baby, let me know, because I can't find it over here on my side. But oh, it was so good. But we're gonna try to create that same magic. We're gonna try to recreate a lot of that good energy that we have. And yeah, we're gonna have this for you. So first things first, before we jump into it, if you are new here, don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, share with a family member, share with a friend. If you are returning, what's up, cousins? What's up, family? I appreciate y'all so much for rejoining us here. But y'all, without further ado, the intro is here. I got to give a big shout out to my girl, Brittany, for helping me with the intro. She created it all, y'all. So let us know how you feel about it. I think she did a phenomenal job. I love it. I love it. I love it. You know what? I'm giving her all this praise, and y'all, we're going to see if it even let me upload the doggone thing, because it wouldn't let me do it. Well, it let me do it for Real Housewives of Potomac. No fault of her. It's on me. It's me. It's my setup. I'm going to give me some new stuff. We're going to get some new stuff coming in here, y'all. But the intro is here. It's stunning. So everybody, please help me shout out my girl, Brittany. I appreciate you so much, girl, for helping me with this. Yeah, girl, we got the intro. We got the intro. All right, let's jump into it. So when it comes to Married to Medicine, y'all already know this is my favorite show on Bravo. Favorite show on Bravo. Now, the thing I love about Married to Medicine is, for the most part, I feel like it's the most organic and the most genuine. And you know how a lot of the shows, they open up with like the different cut scenes? The thing I love about Married to Medicine is that it's, one, inspirational, and two, it's legit. Like, we see Dr. Scott talking to his family, like him, DrContessa, and their kids. Also, their kids are growing up so fast. But seeing them have the conversation about him receiving the text messages from the first child that he delivered 20 years ago. We see Dr. Simone with a child that she delivered, and now she's her primary care physician. We see DrJackie with Debrat and BB Judy's baby that she just had. I think he had a year when he was there. So it's just really awesome and nice to see that. And baby, let me tell you what, it was real nice to see. It was real nice to see Toya body. Toya was body down in that kitchen. Toya dress 10, body 20, off the charts, baby. Toya over there looking like Megan Thee Stallion. You know how we got DrJackie over here on the other side? Real CC Wine. Real Whitney Houston. Real classy base. Real classy base type of body. And then we got Toya over here, stripper. BB Judy. Megan Thee Stallion. Lotto. She got that type of body. Real rapper. Real in the video type of body. DrJackie got a, dressing all white, sitting in the front of the pew at the church. First lady type of body. So Married to Medicine got whatever body type you need. Lawyer, got it. Doctor, got it. Dentist, got it. Stripper, we got them too. Baby, we got all the bodies. All the body yada yadas in the house. So as, Toya's up in there frying up the bacon, cooking the sausage. Side note, and it could just be me, I've never cooked sausage and bacon in the same pan at the same time. I just have never done it. Like, it's probably all pork. Well, I don't know what she had, but typically it can be all pork, right? I don't know why that was so weird to me. I was just like, you don't want to have it in separate pans? It's not going to cook all at the same time. But anyway, they over there eating good, so I don't know. So Toya is asking Dr. Eugene, hey, have you checked on Dr. Greg? Like, how is he doing? And he's like, man, I'm just trying to give him his space. And I get that. I feel like there are certain people that are like, hey, check on me. And there are some people that are like, just give me my space and let me cool down, and then I'll come back around the group when I'm ready. So I feel like Dr. Eugene is just doing what he feels like is best. And Dr. Eugene, that is okay. I don't think that you're wrong. It just kind of is just perspective thinking. It just depends on how people perceive it, and depends on how somebody is ready to receive that information. So there's that. But Toya feels like they definitely should check on them to see how they're doing. And as she's in the kitchen cooking up the sausage and the bacon at the same time in the same pan, she is talking to us about wanting to have a themed party. And one thing when it comes to Toya, we know that Toya is known for throwing a good party. Toya is always gonna throw a good party. That's one thing I would give her. That's one of the things like I feel like that sets her apart from the rest of the Married to Medicine cast. And she throws those elaborate parties. Sometimes they don't be within her budget, but she is always known for throwing a party. So shout out to Toya for that. But she's talking about this and she's saying like, hey, she feels split because you have Quad and King. I was calling him Craig. Quad and King, and then you have Dr. Greg and Sweet Tea on the other side. And she's like, well, what do I do? It's a lose-lose situation. I have Quad over here that our relationship is blossoming. We're doing way better than what we used to. We're on the good path. Do I not invite her and just run the risk of messing or losing that relationship? Or Sweet Tea, we've been good. You know, how do we feel about this relationship? And then, Dr. Eugene is cool with King. He's cool with Greg. So it's just kind of like a lose-lose situation for them. So I hope they make the best decision, which we will see later on this episode. But I hope they make the best decision, which I feel like they kind of did personally. Now, as they're having their conversation in the kitchen, we switch over to Quad pulling up to Dr. Heavenly's freshly, it was freshly pressure washed, baby. Now that's an old school reference for Mariah for those who know. But it looks like looks good. Heavenly's home is great. She has a beautiful home. But Quad pulls up in her Rolls Royce, looking good, by the way, looking stunning. So she just lets herself in, baby, because ain't nobody at the door. She said, ain't nobody at the door. This ain't Phaedra house where she got the butler man at the door. Quad just let herself right on in. Now, we see Dr. Heavenly over there putting the puzzle together. Y'all have not seen somebody put a puzzle together in so long. Like, it's been a long time since I've seen that. And, you know, when Dr. Heavenly was like, oh, I'm an empty nester now, girl. I could have been having sex all over this house. Dr. Heavenly, please, please. Y'all, when I tell y'all I love Dr. Heavenly, I love her. She'll work my nerves, but I love me some Dr. Heavenly. Like, she's so funny. So as they are in the kitchen, and I saw Dr. Heavenly pouring her a little Coke, so I feel like they had a little crown and Coke, because Dr. Heavenly is known for the crown. Oh, I could go for a good class of crown. Anyway, they're talking about the Key West situation and how the group is essentially divided and how are they going to navigate this situation. And Dr. Heavenly feels like Quad King, Dr. Greg, and Sweet Tea aren't going to be able to coexist. And I feel like they can, just with boundaries. The biggest thing that is going to take for them is just when you're in those groups, just don't say anything to each other. If somebody says something to you that you don't like, you don't have to give them a rebuttal. You don't have to say anything. As adults, you should be able to navigate a space with someone that you do not care for and that you do not like. Honestly, I feel like I navigate spaces with people that I might not care for all the time, and they probably don't even know it. And that's how it should be. We should be cordial because we are grown. Be grown. Say what you need to say. Hey, how you doing? Go and sit down. You don't got to ask them about their family and them. You don't got to ask about nothing. Speak. Go ahead, grab your glass of wine, water, lemonade, whatever it is that you need, and go on about your day. That's all you got to do. So, that's what that is going to be. So Quad talks to Dr. Heavenly about throwing a girlfriend's check-in. And I think that this is a great idea. I think it's a good olive branch. Not saying that she necessarily needs to have an olive branch, but it's a good event to have everybody get together. And as she's talking about this, her and Dr. Heavenly are in agreements that Sweet Tea cannot come. And Phaedra also, she's out. Phaedra ain't trying to be a part of this group, so she will not be there as well. And I totally get it. I get her not inviting them. If I would have had a situation similar to that, I wouldn't have invited them to my home. It's not like they're at a group event that's out somewhere else. She's letting them into her home. So I get it. I don't think I would have invited them either. I'm just being real. Especially Sweet Tea. I don't think I would have invited Sweet Tea. I feel like that's a little too close for comfort. It's just a weird situation because I think in real life we typically wouldn't be that close with our ex-husband or wives, significant other, or new wife. depending on the situation, especially when they don't have kids or anything. I just think it's a bit odd, personally. So as they're finishing up that scene, we see basically pretty much all of the cast, with the exception of Sweet Tea Quad, Dr. Greg King, and Dr. Mimi. They show up to a dance studio and they are getting ready to dance for I have to say Dr. Toya. Well, Dr. Toya, she basically is a doctor, baby. So we got Toya's event for her and Eugene's wedding anniversary. So I love to see this. Now, the one thing that I will say is, God, he give you some things, but he don't give you everything. I'm glad he gave these good doctors brains, because he gave them two left feet, because half of them can't dance worth a doggone shame. They look a mess out there, but it was good to see them let their hair down and have fun. Also, too, it's very interesting to see the different dynamics of the couples in situations like that. So it's very, very interesting. Now we also see Anila and her husband join them for the dancing, which cool. It's good to see them. Honestly, it's good to see them. I actually didn't mind them on the show. I would have loved to see Anila and Karen. I think it's Garen. When they were on the sand bar with the 8 physicians, the only sand bar in America, baby, with 8 black physicians on it. I would love to see them over there seeing what was going on, baby. Them people would have been in shambles. They'd have been so scared, and that would have been good to me. So they having a conversation at the dancing event, and they're saying that Quad is not going to show up, and Toya is saying that she really wants to bring everybody together, and she feels like the group can really. She wants the group to move forward. She wants the group to just kind of lay those differences aside and move forward. And I'm with her. Let's see if we can do this as a group. Now, it was funny to me when Contessa had brought up Phaedra, and Toya's like, "Child, please. We good. Phaedra is a lost cause. We don't need it. We don't want it. She over there with the Real Housewives of Atlanta girls, where she needs to be, rightfully so, and we will enjoy her over there. But over here, Married to Medicine, no, thank you. We're good." So here's the thing with Dr. Contessa, because she was dropping bombs, baby. She lets it be known that, Dr. Greg had a hard time being around King, and his perspective versus everybody else's perspective is very different. And she drops the bomb that he files a police report against King. Y'all, is it that deep? Is it that deep? Like, I can't tell him what he can and can't be mad at. But I don't know if I would have filed a police report if it didn't actually get physical. So I think it's a little lame, especially because it just didn't get physical. Like, don't get me wrong, he did charge you. I get that. It did give the illusion from the viewer's perspective that he ran up. Well, he did run up on you. He took his shirt off and it looked like he was about to fight. I totally get that. Um, it just didn't happen. Could it have happened? Yes, but I don't want us to operate in that space of like, oh, he could have done this. Totally. He could have done this. Greg could have done something else. We all could have done something different in that situation, but it didn't happen. So let's go off of what the facts were. So I think I don't really like that he pressed charges. And, the group is discussing it. And DrHeavenly says, if somebody would have said that to her, a man is going to stand up for his wife or his partner. And that's kind of what King did. So, Dr. Contessa, in her confessional, she brings up, oh, so a wife can stand up for her husband? Dr. Contessa, please, please, please go away from us with this. We get it. We get it. Oh, I'm so ready for y'all to dead this. It looks like on the next episode, y'all are going to finally sit down and have a conversation. And I hope y'all can leave it there so we can move forward for the next season and you can come back full time. But please leave us alone with this. So, Dr. Eugene feels like the situation can be fixed. So him and Dr. Scott are going to, they're going to check in on Greg and they're going to invite him over for some wings. So the next session that we see Toya pulling up at a restaurant. Dr. Toya, Dr. Toya, she gonna be Dr. Toya to me today. So we got Dr. Mimi, Toya, and we got Sweet Tea going to have lunch together. And I really liked that scene. It was nice to see them three have a lunch. It was cute. It was a cute little lunch event. Now, as they're having a conversation, I'm just gonna get to the meat and potatoes of it. Long story short, Toya is asking her, hey, did he file a police report? We're hearing about this police report thing. And she was like, yes, he did, and that's her and Greg business. She's saying that's her and Greg business because we're just trying to figure out why, essentially. Like, we want this group to move forward, and doing that, basically, the group can't move forward because you have filed this report or your husband has filed this report. And I understand Sweet Tea is standing by her man, baby. Who sings that song? Tammy Wynette, Stand By Your Man. I think it's her. But Sweet Tea, you know it's a bit much. You know we don't do that. Like, if he was in his right, technically, yeah. So it's like I get it, but I just don't feel like it's necessary for him to do that. And I feel like Sweet Tea kind of feels a different way, but she's supporting her husband, which I get and I respect as well. Now, when they're having a conversation with Sweet Tea, and they're telling her, like, hey, you lose your cool, you go to places and we don't even recognize who you are. We don't even recognize who you are, but you want people to give you grace, but you don't want to allow grace for others. And I feel like that was a really interesting conversation and perspective with them. And Sweet Tea was definitely not trying to hold herself accountable. And they were like, no, girl, you don't just yell, you don't get loud. You go to a dark place. And it is hard to sometimes get you out of that. And I feel like the praying thing, that's why I feel like maybe more happened or there was more to it because it seemed a little out of place a little bit. So I think maybe more happened and we just missed it, or they just didn't have it. It's just maybe on the cutting room floor. But yeah, it was very interesting. So Sweet Tea, we've seen you get into arguments, and it's like you go from 0 to 100. The one thing I would say about like the rest of the cast, they can fight and they can argue. You know, Toya would definitely fight somebody. She been hit upside the head with a purse and stuff, but she can hold herself accountable, and they know not to get too heated, if that makes sense. So that's my thing. And then, they're asking her, like, hey, how can we support you? How can this group support you? How can we rally behind you when we don't feel like you're supporting us in the same way? And, she just said she can't make that decision for them. And, girl, I don't know, Sweet Tea. I don't know. I feel like Sweet Tea is trying to make them choose sides, essentially, and I don't think it's going to work in her favor. I just truly don't think it's going to work in her favor. I'm trying to feel like they're asking her. I don't know what I was just trying to say just then. I don't know. But long story short, I feel like she's trying to make the group decide and choose what friend group that they're trying to do or push Quad out essentially and maybe bring her in. And I don't feel like she's taking the right approach to it. But hopefully she can put her differences aside and then come back to some type of agreement with the group. Now, after we see that, hold on, wait. Oh, okay. So after we see that, now one thing I will say about Sweet Tea, and then we're gonna move on to the next scene. It's she's supporting her husband. I respect her supporting her husband. You know what? I wonder if Sweet Tea is supporting her husband in a way that she's like, listen, I'm not trying to have this fight later. I wonder if she's just like, I'm just gonna go along to get along. I might not necessarily agree. And you know what? That's a part of being in a union, right? Sometimes you have to go along to get along with your partner. Praise in public, correct in private. So I think maybe that's the approach that she's taking, especially being on the show. She doesn't want to say something to the group or to these ladies and it get back to him and it causes her strife later. So I get it. I respect what Sweet Tea is coming from for that. So I get it. All right. So the next scene we see we pull up at Dr. Scott's house. We see Dr. Eugene and Dr. Greg coming over. He's having them over for wings. Now I'm gonna say this: if I would have been over there, baby, I would have been hot as hell because y'all had about 5 wings on that plate. Now I would have been hot behind that because me and Eugene about the same size. I might be a little bit bigger. I'm a part of the big boy community too. He's on his way out. He's on his way out of the community. I give him that. But I'm telling you now, if I would have showed up over If I would have showed up over there, y'all didn't get loud. And they would have had just 10 wings on the plate for 3 grown men to eat. It looked like 10 wings. Let me tell you something. I know I can eat a 10-piece solid by myself with a side and some extra ranch. Listen, I know one thing. When it comes to the lemon pepper, extra crispy, extra wet, with hot on top of it, lemon pepper sprinkle, all flats. When it comes to that, I don't play by my chicken wings. I would have been so hot, baby. I would have came in there. looked at that paint, threw my purse over my shoulder, and shimmied on out the door. Because what you not finna do is sit here and disrespect me with just a handful of wings. Now y'all know y'all wrong for that. If y'all want to lose weight, be out slim and trim, that's fine. But don't push that narrative on me. I want my wings. Like I said, 10-piece, hot, all flats, extra cushion, extra wet, lemon pepper sprinkle. That's what we want. That's how you got to get your wings. But they would have had me hot. So as they going into the room, and then the little girl, and this, I'm not talking about people children, but y'all know I do not eat people children food. I don't eat people food in general, but I definitely don't eat stuff for children. She would have came in there with that juice. I'd be like, oh, thank you, baby, and put that right on the floor. I'm not gonna drink that juice. No, baby, no, no, no. I'm not drinking that. That's a no for me. No for me. So as they sitting down having the conversation, we're gonna get right into it. Eugene asking him, man, did you file a police report? And Dr. Greg is like, yeah, he feels like people should have reached out to him and checked on him. Cool. I get where you coming from, Dr. Greg. But hear me out here, right? I hear you. I see you. But these men were giving you space because a lot of the information that they were getting was saying that you were still fiery and you were still upset. So I think they were trying to give you a moment to cool down. That's it. I don't think it's not that they didn't care about your feelings. I think they were just honestly trying to give you a moment to cool down. So as you are saying, like, yeah, you filed a police report, Dr. Eugene is like, well, did he touch you? Like, did he actually touch you? Because for you to file a simple battery charge, it seems like he had to have actually gotten physical with you. And then, Greg is trying to like fumble around the answer. And Eugene was like, no, did he touch you? Like, did he? And Greg is like, no, he didn't. So it's like, well, what's the point of this, Greg? And Greg is saying, like, we grown. We don't do this anymore. I'm not going to be fighting with you. Long story doing, I'm going to hit you where it hurts. So he can get up to 90 days possibly or allegedly, and he can have a fine allegedly. It ain't that deep, Dr. Greg. It's just really not, man. Come on, put your differences aside so y'all can move forward. So they're asking him, like, what can we do to help you move past this? What can we do to help you re-enter this group and help you be back cool with this group for everybody to coexist, as one? And baby, he got to unpacking that bag. I knew it was going to be some mess. When I saw that little orange box come out and I saw that laptop, I said, here we go. Here we go. I knew it was going to be childish. When I saw him get to pulling them things out that clown bag and that man played that music. Y'all, it was awful. It was awful. It was the worst thing I have. That man really sat there, wrote that song about his ex-wife, had his new wife record the song, had a shirt of him and his new wife on. Baby, when I say Eugene and Scott, y'all ain't no good because y'all were laughing at that man. Let me tell y'all something. Me and Eugene would have been on the floor laughing, eating them 10-piece lemon pepper, extra crispy, extra wet. Would have been eating all flats. That man really did that. It was so bad. And then, Sweetie, I got a bone to pick with you because you talking about good job, Gregory, good job. No, he didn't do a good job. See, you lying to him. And he gonna come back and be mad at you because he gonna think he can go on a world tour with that and he cannot. He cannot. Listen to me. Doctors, y'all are doctors. Eugene, Sky, please do not. Not Eugene. Greg, Sky, Eugene, you might want to do a little 1-2 number 2. Please don't. We are good. Don't try to make no boy group. We do not need boys to men back. They are in retirement. They are doing other type of tours. Please leave us alone. Go away from me with this. That was awful. I'm with Eugene. We definitely did press charges against him for this song because that song was awful. I would have had to leave their premises immediately because that was not the move. Y'all, baby, when I tell you Eugene had me weak though, he was over there laughing at that man, but it was so funny. But he did not do a good job. We got to be honest. That song was not good. So as we are leaving from that scene, from the 10-piece extra flat, extra crispy, extra wet, all flats, buffaloes with lemon pepper sprinkle, we head over to Quad's house for her girls' night event. And it looks really nice. Quad has a beautiful house. Her grounds are stunning. Her landscaping is really, really, really nice. Shout out to Quad for that beautiful home. And everybody looks good. The ladies look great. DrContessa's outfit looked a little out of place. She didn't look bad. It just looked like her outfit wasn't for that event. Maybe she had someone to go after, but it just it just looked a little out of place. Now Heavenly looks good. Heavenly looked great from head to toe. She looked really good. And y'all, when Heavenly had came down, she said, "I walk like my coochie good, don't it?" Y'all, what is wrong with her? Heavenly is a Scorpio through and through, so I get her. Me and her get each other because she's a Scorpio. But Heavenly is wild. I'm telling y'all, that lady is a mess. So we already know that Phaedra and Sweet Tea were not invited. And Quad has two rules. And I really like these rules that she had of her event. No talking about the past and get you a cocktail when you come in. I enjoyed that because, listen, she's just saying we're not rehashing nothing. We're not living back there in the past. We're going to move forward. This is us for us to reconnect, focus on the future, and just have us a good time. So I appreciated those rules. And I will be using those rules moving forward. So as they're having this party, I think Dr. Simone was asking Quad if she was coming to Toya's anniversary party. And Quad lets it be known, she's not sure if she will be able to make it because her ex-husband filed charges on her new guy. 100% get that. Everybody's explaining how they feel like Quad and King could understand that they need to be on one side of the room and Dr. Greg and Sweet Tea need to be on the other. But we think that Dr. Greg just doesn't have the capacity to do it at this moment. And also, y'all, he's well within his right to not. So I can understand that perspective. Dr. Simone, I don't think we caught the apology that King really gave in him owning his part. So that was really, really nice for him to do. I thought that was really big of him to own his part in that situation. So King, I salute you and I applaud you for doing that. That was big of you to do that. So it lets me know that you are able to move forward. And not Quad, Toya is having a conversation about Sweet Tea just not holding herself accountable, and her and Mimi rehashed what they talked about at lunch, and I'm with them. I don't think that she's really ready to own her part in it. I think that she feels like Quad is not fully over Dr. Greg. I feel like Quad I feel like Quad still has some unresolved hurt that she needs to take care of in order for her to truly move on. But I don't think that she necessarily wants to get back with Greg. But I think that there's some pain and trauma and hurt from that situation that she hasn't fully worked through all the way. So I think that's what Quad's issue is. But Toya, she states that she feels like Sweet Tea is making her choose. And she's saying, hey, if you are making me choose, I am not going to choose you. And everybody's like, Quad, do you hear her? She's saying that she is choosing you. And Quad gets emotional. And like I said, I love to see Toya and Quad's relationship blossom again and them get back to a place where they are. And I really, really enjoy this spring group. It's nice to even see Mimi be a part of that. Mimi kind of felt like she's been there a while through that conversation also. So it was really, really nice to see them have that conversation and talk about it. So that was great. And they hug it out. Can't wait to see what else transpires and how this group grows and develops. You already know it's gonna be some more mess coming at some point in time, so I'm ready for it. Good, bad, ugly, indifferent. I'm here for every ounce of it. So after we leave that scene, we head over to DrJackie and Curtis pulling up to Phaedra's house. Another beautiful home. These ladies have stunning homes. And I will say this, they come in the house, the butler answers the door, or the house manager, property manager, whatever his title is. I thought, and this might seem very little to others, but this stood out to me. DrJackie bringing Phaedra that bottle of wine. I feel like that was a good olive branch to say, hey, look, girl, I see you. I don't drink. Here go a nice bottle of wine that I have here in my wine cellar. Please, please, please have this. Um, so I thought that was nice. It could have just been like, hey, girl, here you go. But I felt like it was nice. I was trying to read the label on it because I thought it said Josh wine, which that ain't no fancy bottle of wine, DrJackie. But anyway, I love me some DrJackie, so I'm going to give her too much. But they're having a conversation, and Phaedra just basically says, hey, DrJackie, I don't blame you for the events that took place. She calls Dr. Heavenly the devil's daughter, which I was like, oh, clutch my pearls, baby. It was a lot. But Phaedra, here is where it's a bit confusing for the viewer. You are trying to act as if you weren't aware of the possible things that could transpire. You were aware that Apollo was coming. You were aware that you were bringing his friend Shaq. and it was a possibility that his wife could be there. So you knew that there could possibly be some sort of a fallout, or you basically just wanted to stunt in Apollo's face, which both, baby, you well within your right for both. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. You can do whatever you choose, because I feel you. Sometimes you gotta let the old one know how you upgraded. I feel you. Now I'm not saying you upgraded, downgraded. I'm just saying that's how we feel sometimes in those situations. But Phaedra, it's like you are trying to hold this group accountable for the issues, but you really didn't have that big of an issue. It wasn't like there was this huge knockout fight between y'all. Like, yes, you and Shireen had words, but maybe that's the part that made it uncomfortable, Shireen being there, and that threw you off a little bit. But I'm trying to figure out why you are so upset with them. And I think we all know what it is. We just needed a good clean exit, a good way for Phaedra to just kind of tie this married to medicine situation into a bow so that she could head back over to the Real Housewives of Atlanta. And I get it. Phaedra is officially done with this group. She no longer wants to be a part of this group. And cool. I feel like she didn't really contribute a lot to this group. So I feel like there's no love lost on either part for the girls and for Phaedra. So there's that. And y'all, that is going to be our Married to Medicine review. Now, once again, if you are new here, remember, don't forget to hit that don't forget to hit the subscribe button. So when and hit the notification bell button too. So when I drop new content, you always get those alerts. So that you can go and view that. But with that being said, I will catch y'all here next week with another review. Have a good one, everybody, and I'll see y'all soon.